in general, I just want freedom across the board. I think that is my biggest issue. It's like, we are all here to have our own experience. Excuse me. We are all here to have our own experience. We are all going to go about life differently. We all want to experience different things. Like, let's get out of each other's way and just allow ourselves to be. Stop the judgment. Stop pushing our viewpoints on people. Like, just allow. And I know it sounds like very Pollyannish, like, just love each other in the process, you know, like just hold the space for us all to live. There's room for us all. There's room for us all.
And there's room for conversation too, as well. And, you know, I've gone from both ends of the kind of political lines throughout my life. And I feel like I have an interesting take on it because I've voted sort of all over the place and I understand the perspective of others. And if there's one thing I can't stand, it's when like people just like won't even listen to somebody else's viewpoint. Like, during the 2016 election, my son was 9 and, you know, he knew that I voted one way and he was, you know, really into it and excited. And I was like, I need you to understand why people are voting for the other person. And I explained it to him and he stopped for a minute and he goes, oh, well, that makes a lot of sense. And it was kind of hard for me to do because, like, you know, of course, I want my child to have the same values that I have. Yeah. But at the end of the day, like, I want him to come to his own conclusions and like what's important to him. Like, what are his values? Like, what's his thought process after he hears everything he possibly can. So that's just, you know, going off on parenting there a little bit. I know we've kind of like switched subjects here.
No, but you're even like tapping into something that I have been so afraid to talk about on this show because I don't want to pigeonhole myself into any idea or piss anyone off because it is so polarizing.
Tricky.
Politics. I love talking about politics. I've been into politics my whole life. I worked in Hollywood where it was a very big deal. And one of the things that drove me absolutely crazy is the single-minded aspect of it, that we push one narrative no matter what. And we have to, as a whole, as a society, look at the source of where the stuff is coming from. We need to allow people to have opinions. We need to allow people to have a conversation. I worked on this test show one summer when the show I was working on was on hiatus. And it was, it actually never went anywhere, but there were like these 4 preachers. And I'm like, this is going to be interesting. And they come from different like religious backgrounds and different walks of life. And so to me, I'm like, ooh, this is going to be really great. But they were like, I think they were 4 Black men and 4 Black preachers. And then one of their guests was like, I think it was Ann Coulter. I'm like, oh, great.
Oh, my gosh.
This is going to be a great show. Like, I'm like bringing out my popcorn. Can't wait to like start working on it. How am I going to promote this thing?
This is going to be epic.
This is going to be epic. And literally, it was the most vanilla, boring show I've ever seen. Like, they just sat there. Like, I was just like, we are like primed for such a good conversation. Let's have it. And that's one thing another show I was working on, they had Killer Mike on. And I absolutely love that man. Not political views, anything. I'm not going to get political about it. I love the fact that he came on was like, I want to have the conversation. I want to hear what every side has to say. And I think we need to be more open in our opinions and stop being so polarized. And that just goes to everything in life, that we just are so single-minded. We set our mind into whatever conversation or opinion we have, and there's not room for other people to grow. We can learn a lot by just listening.
Absolutely. I absolutely think that we can. And, you know, even now my son is 16 and he's, you know, into YouTube and, you know, he'll tell me about a new YouTuber that he's been watching and he'll consume like hours of like a single YouTuber. And the thing I'm most interested in is, where is this person getting their information? Like, like, are they just regurgitating something they heard? And my encouragement to him is like to question everything that you hear, like on social media and YouTube and things like that. And even a lot of, you know, journalism and those types of things. But I agree with you on all that. Yeah. Let's just listen and listen to actually understand instead of listen to respond. And this goes whether you're having a political conversation, a conversation with your partner, coworker, child, anybody. That's one of the things that I'm grateful for in my coaching training, is the ability to listen to understand and also be comfortable in the pause that happens when that person is done talking, because you're then formulating your response. There's just like that discomfort, like you don't have to fill the space so immediately. It's uncomfortable, but it's one thing I'm grateful for, because It's really hard to listen to someone when you're formulating a response in your head.
It's the power of the pause. That's even as a writer. I mean, you know about that. The power of the pause. It is one of the biggest things we can do in our life, in anything we're doing.
100%. Yep.
Yeah.